Hi, everyone. Christine Harrington here, the Savvy Sales Lady, and I'm with my producer extraordinaire, Wes Wyatt.
Hey guys.
Wes, we have a dynamite show today, and I'm a numbers person. Are you a numbers person?
I am.
Okay. And this show, we are going to talk about not only prospecting versus selling, but I want to give you a few statistics to set the stage.
Are we going to run the bumper first? Okay.
The peak performance mindset. Look at all. Getting ready to present our feed. Getting ready to start the peak performance.
It always helps to know when the bumper needs to be run, right?
I was going to say, I think we have another a blooper to use.
Good Lord.
Yeah, we'll get this ironed out, folks. Well, today we're going to talk about prospecting versus selling. But first, I want to give you a few statistics. And Wes, when I read this, I just couldn't believe it. And this is from Zendesk.com, their blogs on statistics. And did you know only 24.3% of salespeople exceeded their quota in 2021?
No, that seems like it's, yeah.
Less than 25% exceeded their quota in 2021. Now, reps they're just not getting in front of enough people, Wes. And here's another one, almost 67% of salespeople admitted they made contact with 250 or fewer prospects last year. Can you believe that?
No, I can't.
If you take out, let's just say you take out 2 weeks for vacation, right? So you're not going to prospect while you're on vacation. That's only 5 prospects, contacts a week. That's it. And you'll never make your sales goal if you're contacting 5 or less prospects per week. What do you think?
Because that's one a day or less.
Right.
Yeah.
That's pitiful.
Yeah, that's sad.
And you know what that tells me? They don't have enough in their pipeline. So they don't have enough prospects in their pipeline. They're probably beating those dead horses to death, trying to get them to buy. And you need to clear out the garbage so you can bring in the new. Now, right. I'm going to say this too, okay? I don't always plug my services, but if you need sales training, all right, if you're only getting 5 prospect contacts a week, you need sales training. You need to have your sales manager contact me. I'm finding more and more salespeople don't even have a grasp on the basics of selling. And which leads into our topic today, which is prospecting versus selling. So, Savvy Sales Lady audience, let me ask you this question. And if you'll let Wes know in the comments, let's do a little test here. How many selling appointments are on your calendar this week? So today is Tuesday. So let's just take Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. How many selling appointments are on your calendar this week? Are you prospecting and selling on the same call? And the reason a lot of the salespeople do this, Wes, is because they don't have enough people to talk to. So they're trying to do everything all at once. And prospecting and selling are totally 2 different processes, right?
Right.
So generally, you got to do one or the other. So if you're prospecting, you're building a relationship. You're trying to build a relationship, but you're also gathering information to qualify the buyer. So if you're selling, you're focused on understanding the customer's needs and presenting solutions. You can't do all of that in one cold call or one warm call. It's too confusing and you'll get nowhere. So now a lot of people don't know this, Wes, I review Zoom calls on that salespeople have with their prospects and clients. So I review and I tweak little things that they can do here or there. And then I also listen to phone calls that they have been on, either in a selling opportunity or in a prospecting opportunity. And I see the same mistake happen over and over and over again. And that is, if they feel like they are, getting some rapport with that buyer over the phone, they have a tendency to jump in and go for the kill. In other words, go for the sale. Wes, have you ever been on a phone call with someone that did that to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if anybody out there listens to like a Gary Vaynerchuk, he talks about how, people go for, home plate rather than first base. Obviously a birds and the bees reference, but you can't do that. You have to practice self-control, rather than, try to, marry the person as opposed to take them to dinner. It's a whisper sweet nothings in my ear first. Don't try to go for the close.
That reminded me of something. In my past, my first date with a man, we're having lunch. Okay, this is the first time I met him. The first day we were introduced by a mutual friend. So we're at lunch. And the waitress came to take our order, and she said, what looks good to you? And he goes, that woman right over there, she's going to be my wife soon. And I was like, whoa, I couldn't get out of there fast enough.
Or if he leans in and says, one of these days, our kids are going to laugh about this. It's like, easy, Trigger. At least let me get dessert, before we start talking about our kids.
Right, exactly. And I just couldn't get away from that table fast enough after he said that. It's like, hurry up, eat, get out of there. That's the same way the buyer feels when you're trying to go for the kill and selling all in one phone call. So don't ask me his name, everybody, because I won't tell you. Because he's local.
Yeah, it reeks of desperation too, and they say that you can hear a smile on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You can feel desperation as well.
That's exactly right. So your only goal, and I just cannot beat this drum enough, is to set the appointment. And as you said, Wes, resist selling. Resist the urge, especially if the buyer says, can you tell me more? What will happen if you proceed and tell him more?
Right.
Well, you'll get the dreaded response. Can you send me more? Can you send me a brochure, or can you give me more information? So what do you think the buyer is saying when they say that, Wes? I bet you know.
Well, I mean, it's I want off the phone. I mean, in my opinion, I mean, I'm going to find out, and then worse yet than that is I'm going to check this out, and then I'm going to find somebody that I jive with better to buy it from. So after you get off the phone, they're probably still going to buy if they're interested, but it may not be from you.
That's right. It's a polite way of saying no. No. And then what you'll do as a seller, you'll send him an email, you'll send your brochure, and then for the next month, you'll be chasing him to set an appointment. And you'll put him in your dead horse pile to reach out to him again in 6 months. You did too much on one phone call. So always, 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 it doesn't matter if it's prospecting or you're in a selling situation, you always want to book the next appointment. So don't sell, make the appointment for the next step of your selling process. And then every part of the process after that, whether it's a follow-up, whether it's pulling together an implementation team, before you hang up that phone or that Zoom call, you always get another appointment on the books so you're not constantly chasing the prospect. So when prospecting, keep this in mind, you're an appointment setter. So if you don't like the term cold calling or warm calling, have the mindset that what you're doing is setting an appointment. So be an appointment setter. This is what I do for small businesses, and I've done it very successfully. I don't know if you all have seen the testimonial from one small business owner that I was working with. I had booked 26 appointments in 9 days, and they went on to sell all but 2. And the only reason why they didn't sell the final 2 is because I had booked so many appointments, it fell through the cracks. And they asked me to stop for a month because they had to hire people to keep up with what I was doing. So be an appointment setter. If you can't do 26 appointments, I'm not even going to say 9 months, in 30 days, you either have a weak prospecting funnel or you're not making enough calls. And that did not take me hours to do. It did not take me hours to set 26 appointments. It took me, and I'm not going to say, I did it in an hour. No, I did not. But I worked about 10 to 16 hours in that 9 days to set those appointments. It is possible, guys. You can do it, but you got to get yourself in the mindset that you're an appointment setter. And if you are struggling with leads or you're struggling getting enough prospects, you need to have your manager reach out to me and let me coach you and train you on how to do this. I have developed a protocol, a cold calling protocol that works very successfully. Any comments?
I was just getting ready to say, and this isn't a pandering, kind of a comment, but I put out a social media post for you yesterday that had you whispering in the ear of somebody that had a case of the Mondays, if you will, and it had the collateral hook to it was like let me be the savvy sales lady in your ear. And I think that if you are somebody that is in that world in any way, shape, or form, and we all are, because you're selling all the time. I mean, it doesn't matter what you do, you're always selling. And if you can't do it yourself, if you're having issues, find a mastermind or a trainer like Christine that can help you over the hurdles and the ditches and all the things that would be the blocking and tackling that you'd have to do anyway to learn this, and just let them tell you, try this, it works. And at the end of the day, guys and gals, success leaves clues. So if somebody knows what they're doing and they've done it, in your case, closing 26 sales or bringing on 26 prospects, and the average person is bringing on we'll just say 5 a week, then that person needs to hear from someone like you, because you know better. So I think that if you're out there and you're not, bringing on a coach or a mastermind or something that's going to, kind of lift you up and take you out of, whatever, kind of standstill that you're in, you're missing the boat.
That's exactly right. And the first step in any sales process is to book that appointment with the prospect so that it can lead to a sale down the road. Get them into your sales process by booking that initial appointment. So I want to give you all a challenge. I would like to challenge you to focus on being an appointment setter over the next 30 days, and your sales will skyrocket. The other thing that I saw, Wes, on social media, on Twitter, I believe it was Sunday, no, maybe it was yesterday, this email marketer was suggesting that if you, slam out 20 emails a day, that, you can make 10K in a month. Well, think about that. 20 a day. Email marketing is one tool, not the only tool. And there was all these comments of people saying, well, I've done that in the past and nothing happened. And, no, I'm not getting all these appointments. And I jumped into the conversation and I said, pick up the phone.
Yeah.
You are never going to convert email marketing unless you pick up that phone and make that call. I do it in reverse. I do the call first, then I follow up with emails. And I can teach you how to do all of this where it will be very, very fruitful for you. But it starts with setting the appointment. Now, have I beat that drum enough, Wes?
You beat the drum, and there's two things that I like to think about in this realm. The first one is the idea of the hardest thing that you'll ever do is pick up the phone, open your front door to leave, and then open your car door. To when you get to a place. But the second thing is, and you just said something that was just resonated so much with me, and that is when people say, "Oh, I've tried that." I'd really like to be a fly on the wall, because what they probably tried, and I'm not making any assumptions, but they probably got 1, 2, maybe 3, but probably 1 no. And they're like, you know what, this doesn't work. And I don't remember who said it, and I need to really find it and see if I can find who they were. But I remember a marketer years ago, and they said that what their job was is they're a nectar collector. And I said, what is that? And he said, I go to a flower, I get the nectar, and I move on. He goes, when I get to the flower, I don't ask a bunch of questions. He goes, I go to the flower and I'm on to the next one. And the analogy with that was, if I get a no, I'm on to the next flower. I don't care. My job is to go to all the flowers. He goes, if I get a no, that's okay. I'm on to the next flower. He's a nectar collector. And so when you're out there doing stuff, it's kind of like that old saying that every shot not taken is a guaranteed miss. If you are making calls and you're making posts and you're doing all the things that bring in a prospect, you're going to have, just by sheer numbers, it's going to work because this is a numbers game. But if you get to the first one and they say, phooey, and you take that as an answer, all the other people are guaranteed no's, because you didn't ask. You don't even know if they're interested. So I think that those things are the most important thing to keep in mind, is that you've got to, number one, take action, not move stuff around on your desk. It has to be IPA, income producing activities, and checking Facebook and Twitter and going through emails and all that stuff isn't an income producing activity. It's an activity. So if you're doing income producing activities, you're going to make money. It's kind of like gravity. You don't have to believe it works. Step off a building and see how it works. It works every time. So and prospecting is the same way. You're going to get, number one, better as you do it. And two, if you do it, it will work. It's just you may have to work really hard at the beginning.
Those are excellent points. You had said something that resonated with me too, that I hear a lot in coaching. Well, and it's two comments. Well, I tried that, Christine. Or, well, it's different for me, Christine. Everybody thinks it's different for them. It's
Yeah.
not. It's not.
Yeah.
Usually when they say, well, I've tried that, I'll say, well, for how long? Did you try it over the course of a year? Did you try it over a course of 6 months? Or just one day? Or one phone call?
Yeah. There's two groups that people need. When people are feeling like that, they need to watch two groups of people. They need to watch babies try to walk and talk. Yeah, because they stand up, they walk, they fall down, and they get right back up. And the other group is skateboarders. Yeah, you can think whatever you want about a skateboarder, but when I can tell you right now, Christine, if I got on a skateboard and wrecked in the fashion that some of these kids wreck, it'd be the last time I'd do the sport. Yeah, but you watch them trying to stick the move over and over and over and over again until finally they stick it. It's exciting to watch. And really, I don't mean to, glorify skateboarding, because I know in the city that can be a real, pain in the rear. But watching these kids try to learn how to do something is just amazing. And, you're going to, in the sales world, have the same experience that those babies and those skateboarders have. And that is, you're going to have a lot more falling down and a lot more injuries and skin knees and busted lips and all the stuff, because that's what it takes to get in and learn it. But the thing that the babies and the skateboarders have in common, the babies watch you walk, and so they know you can do it and that they can do it. But the other thing is that most skateboarders are either watching somebody in a video or a picture or right in front of them do it, and that's how they learn. So they are doing the exact same thing that we just talked about. It harkens back to the exact same callback, and that is, you got to watch somebody that knows how to do it. The 5-minute mile, the whatever. Everyone says it's not possible until somebody does it, and then everyone does it. So it's possible. You just need to find somebody that can teach you how to do it, and then do it.
That's right. And you said something again profound, Wes. Wes the philosopher.
I'm Wes the regurgitator. I retain stuff that inspires me.
Well, for sure, when you break your belief barrier, and that's really what it is, Wes, right? They break their belief barrier, and now they know that they can do, X, Y, and Z. My son was a skateboarder, and it was painful for me to watch him skate. How many times he fell down. I do not know how he didn't break a bone in his body, but he did. I don't know how. And Tony Horton, how old is he now? He's like 40 some years old, or maybe close to 50. And I just saw him on a commercial. I'm like, how's that man still walking? He's still skateboarding. And Tony Hawk. I said Tony Horton. Tony Hawk. Isn't that his name?
Yeah, it's Tony Hawk.
Yeah, Tony Hawk. And but you have to break your own belief barrier, everyone. That's what it is. And once you break your own belief barrier, the sky's the limit then. You can go as high as you want. So, Wes, again, here's the challenge. Over the next 30 days, focus on appointment setting. If you're not holding at least 5 to 10 selling appointments, not appointment setter appointments, but selling appointments, if you're not doing that on a regular basis, you're not going to meet your sales goals. So you have to reverse think this. For the next 30 days, set yourself up by being an appointment setter So next month, you are consistently holding 5 to 10 selling appointments a month. And it just doesn't quit after this 30 days. You have to decide how many appointments you need to set in order to have 5 to 10 selling appointments on your calendar each and every week. So that's your challenge for you this week, everyone. And we're way past our 15 minutes. And, and Wes, I appreciate you being on with me today and sharing your pearls of wisdom, because you have many. And just remember, everyone, sales is a journey. It's not a quick trip around the block. Now, we are changing our time to 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time starting next Tuesday. So keep that in mind, 2 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. And you may have already had your lunch, but if not, you can have lunch with us. All righty. Bye-bye, everyone.